Yes? Is this something I can do for you? Cheeky girl? Yep. No, it's not yours. No, it's not yours. Go on. Cheeky girl. I'm making a tart today, John. Another one.
With your new penny?
Oh yes, with my new penny. Do you like it?
Mm.
It's very pretty and I love the stripes, and there's a little bee on the front there. Now, this is made by Betty and Bear. And Anne is married to your old school friend.
Indeed.
Yeah, and anyway, she sent me this as a pressie because she knew I liked a bit of cooking. So doing that, and also I bought a lovely kimono from her. But anyway, that's beside. Yeah, I'll wear that. Not today, but yes, very happy with that. It's lovely.
Finished?
Have you quite finished? It's going to be like this all day, just ignore her. Alright, I'm making a tart, darling, because I know you love a tart, don't you? This is a veggie tart. It's going to be with some lovely tomatoes. So I get all these, we get these gorgeous tomatoes, don't we, delivered from Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight, it's called the Tomato Store, it's the Isle of Wight tomato company, and they send us every week. We buy a crate of them.
Those look like grapes.
They do look like grapes. Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they? So I'm going to do something with these. And I'm going to make an artichoke pesto. And I'm going to put the whole thing in a lovely egg sort of quiche set. And I've got my lovely sour cream pastry made with yoghurt, which everyone has hopefully seen now. And you can double check it and see the recipes on my previous videos. Anyway, I've made it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of flour. I'm just going to shape it up because the whole thing's done in my food processor. Just shape it into a little round. It's always good. It's a little top tip for you. Whenever you're going to make a round tart, right, shape it into a little round like this, almost flat, before you chill it, and then it's ready to roll into a round when it comes out of the fridge.
You almost seem to know what you're doing.
I always need to, yes, I do. On days, I have moments of lucidity, my love. Rare, but
And far between.
But when it happens, we have to take full advantage of it, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
All right, so there you go. So I'm going to pop that into the fridge to rest. And then I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. You can come back, my love, and I'll be making the filling. Yes? Something I can do for you?
You always seem to be grating lemons or limes.
I do, don't I? Yeah, it's because I like them. I love that flavour. Zingy, tangy, citrus, lovely. Now I'm going to make, so the tart I'm doing, so I'm just going to go through it, just so I remember more than anything. I've rolled out that pastry, I've lined a deep flan tin, and it's now in the freezer just getting nice and cold. I'm not going to blind bake it because I'm going to cook this quite a long time in the oven, and that should be enough for it to cook through. What I'm doing now is I'm going to make an artichoke and parsley and walnut pesto, and that's a really lovely dish anyway on pasta. So I say dish, but pesto, you toss that through some pasta. It's a really, really lovely way to eat pasta. But I thought it'd be really nice to have at the bottom of the tart, underneath all of the tomatoes. It's quite tasty. It could be awful, but I think it might be quite nice because I'm just making this up as I go along, which is most of my recipes, isn't it? But I have made this before. So I know this will be all right. There's walnuts in here, and I've just lightly toasted them. Okay, remember about toasting nuts, John? I mentioned it before. The moment your nuts are burning, you smell them burning, it is too late. So really keep an eye on your nuts. Most important. Artichokes. Just going for a jar of artichokes, actually. I'm not going for any special ones. So these just come in a jar in oil. These, I think, were probably from Sainsbury's. But, you know, you can use whatever you want. Just a little bit of the oil that they come in as well. That goes in. Parsley, okay. A couple of cloves of garlic, so they definitely get chopped up. I'm just going to cut them in half. That goes in. We're going to give that a whiz, and then I'm going to add a couple more ingredients. So put that on the whiz together. Don't want it to be too small. Okay? I just want some chunks in there still. So it's quite gentle with how I do it. So that's just started, and then I'm going to put some lemon zest in, which just lifts it, gives it a lovely fresh flavour. That goes very well as well inside the tart. There's about half a lemon in there. Parmesan cheese, about 40 grams, 30 grams, 25 grams, I don't know, I'll look at it and I'll let you know in the recipe. As my usual, a bit of salt, not too much because there's quite a bit of salt anyway in the Parmesan. I'm just going to put a few basil leaves in and some black pepper. And then I'm going to give it another little whiz, and I think that should be all it needs. See, it's still quite chunky. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have chunks of nuts and chunks of artichoke in there. Right? God, that smells really good. Lovely. So next thing to do is to make a custard. So I'm going to use creme fraiche, because that's what we have in the fridge. I'm going to go with about 5 eggs because it's quite a deep flan that I've got. So it'll take about that many. Might even take 6 actually. I think I might go for 6. 4.
This lunch then?
Yeah, this is lunch, if you're a good boy. Have you been a good boy today?
Always.
Then you get it for lunch. Right, so there we go. A little bit of salt and pepper. Give it a little beat with a fork. And add creme fraiche to it. A good wallop of that, I reckon, a big each one of those. That'll do. So I'm just going to go get my flan tin from the freezer, and then I'm going to fill it and make it look really pretty. Really pretty. It's going to be the prettiest tart in pretty land. I've got to say, I just fried off or softened off in a bit of olive oil, a small red onion as well, just to put at the bottom, give it a little bit of extra flavour. This has come out of the freezer. It's really cold. It's almost solid, which is exactly what I wanted, okay? Because it's quite a soft pastry, this. As you can see, you can get little finger marks as you're pushing it in. So I've actually done a little bit of patching, which you might be able to see just there where I stuck my nail in, which is a bit silly, but just keep a little bit back, because look, I always keep a bit back, just in case. And where's my little finger marks? And I just pop it in there, just to seal it, just in case, okay? Always keep it, and the rest I give to the birds because they love it. They love it. So put that on the bottom, and then I'm going to scatter over this lovely pesto, which you just tried, didn't you? Did you like it?
Very much. It's lovely.
It's so fresh, and if you just toss this through, obviously a little bit more olive oil, put that through a plate of pasta. It's really, really good. Really good. Spread that on the bottom, like that. All these lovely fresh flavours in there, and then I'm going to top it with these colourful tomatoes. It's a brilliant summer tart, this, it really is. Oh.
Now, we're not cooking this in the middle of the night.
This is John's bird claw. Still going. It's an owl, which means it's midday.
Not midnight.
Or midnight. I love that. Alright, so put this mixture in on top. Oh my goodness me, John, I've got enough.
Is that 6 eggs?
6 eggs, this is very deep. What I'm going to do, this is my fault entirely, I'm a divvy. Put a little bit of milk, mix another 2 eggs in, and just put some milk in. It's alright, I'm not worried. You know what I'm doing? Yes, keep doing what I'm doing. There we go. A bit more salt and pepper. I forget how deep this is. That's perfect. Right. So when I put the tomatoes in, it's going to do more. So just stir that around a bit and make sure it's all mixed in as well. And now I'm going to put the tomatoes in. Okay. Now, I'm going to just. Well, you'll get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I'll probably find now I should have kept it with less eggs because it'll overflow. No, it shouldn't do. There we go. See what I'm doing? I'm doing it pretty. Lots of different colours of the tomatoes on top. So you've got all these lovely bright summer tomatoes. Of course, we're all growing tomatoes now and they are all coming into season. Ours are just a little bit slow. Should you want a red one there? I did there. What do you think? Do you think that looks pretty?
It's very pretty.
It's just a bit different, isn't it? There we go. And it just shows off these beautiful Isle of Wight tomatoes so well. I know a lot of people have been buying them during lockdown. Tell you what, they don't half cheer you up to have a little box of these delivered to you. Make you smile. Let's put that there. I've got one last red one. We don't want to put a red one next to the red one there. Put it there. Okay, that looks lovely. Now, I'm going to give something a go. I don't know whether this is going to work, but these are calendula petals. So they're from this flower, okay, the marigold, which I grow every year in the garden because I love these petals in salads. So I'm just going to lay some over the top. They might, or they might not, disperse some of their colour into this, okay? They might just look awful when they come out, or they might just keep their lovely little orange and just look really pretty on top of the tart. One more there, and one more just down there. Okay, so I'm going to pop this onto a tray. Oh, hold on, a couple of basil leaves I was going to put in as well. Pop this onto a tray, and then we're going to. Actually, I'm going to change my mind on that one. I'm not, because it's all looking so pretty. Put it into the oven. I'm going to cook it at 160 degrees for as long as it takes. All right, that's the only way I'm going to say it because it could take an hour. I like to cook this tart quite slowly. All right, so 160 until it's cooked all the way through and the pastry's cooked underneath. So pleased with that, John. Look, can you see the little marigold petals, which I didn't know if they'd show up, but they do.
Looks very pretty.
It looks lovely, doesn't it? All those tomatoes shining. This pastry is fabulous. So this is my yoghurt pastry, as you know, which I use for so many different things. So it's got a kind of like a flaky pastry feel to it, but it's tough. You know what I mean? It'll hold its own within the pie case and the with all the mixture inside. No, it's really good. I love that. Now I changed my cooking slightly. Do you remember right at the beginning? Not right at the beginning, when you last saw me, I said 160. So in the end, I actually went to 180. And I gave it about 20 minutes at 180, and then I reduced it to 160 for the rest of the time. But I put all of that up on my YouTube page, which is where I put all my ingredients for the recipe on that. So you watch me make it, try and fathom how I do it, because sometimes I'm a bit backwards and a bit forwards, aren't I? I changed my mind. But the ingredients will actually be on there, so you can make it yourself. I'm going to dig in now. Dig in. This is lovely. There we go. This is going to be so delicious. Okay. Can we see the different layers? So that's the pesto underneath, isn't it? And then you've got the egg mixture, and then all these lovely tomatoes. It may look a little bit wet. That's entirely okay. That's just the juice from some of the tomatoes coming out as well. All right, so don't worry about that. But what you're looking for is some beautifully cooked pastry around the outside and on the bottom, which is what we have. So, dig in. I just had a little bit of walnut. That's so nice. To have a little bit of walnut in there, just adds a bit of texture and crunch. You've got the cheese, you've got the artichokes, all those lovely tomatoes, herbs. That is a tart. That is a fine tart. That is really lovely. You're going to have some for lunch now?
So yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. I'll let you do about that much, just a little bit there. That's enough, isn't it?